pumps, lobs it up. What a catch by DGB! He looked like Randy Moss on that play.
It's almost impossible when there's a jump ball scenario to defend it.
Dorial Green Beckham with a huge game, 4 touchdown catches last week against Kentucky, helping that Missouri offense to remain very high octane. Second highest scoring team in the SEC, 34 sacks led by Michael Sam. Fifth 9-1 start in school history. And Gary Pinkel, 1 win shy of 100 at Missouri. Going to have to wait another week for that. They're in the midst of a bye week, and that's why we're able to catch up with Gary Pinkel inside the DirecTV mobile studio, which has rolled into Columbia, Missouri. And Coach, 9-1 on the season. Take us back to the beginning of this season. How does where you are right now compare to where you thought you would be in fall camp?
Well, I thought we'd have a good football team. You can have a real good football team and not be 9-1 in this position too. So, I understand that. But we have a special group of players. It was a difficult year a year ago, and the commitment by the seniors, the commitment by our team has been second to none. I mean, it's as good as we've ever had, and we got a lot of good players too, and they play well, and outstanding people, and there's a lot of good things.
I want to ask you that too. Maybe you just answered it there, but last season, so many injuries, and that was a big part of what happened last season, why last season was a disappointment. Aside from those injuries, what's different about this year's team?
Well, I think the difference really is, first of all, the injuries are remarkably different. We've been very healthy. We lost James Franklin. Matty Mock came in and has done a great job as a backup quarterback. We'll get James back next week. But I just think with our seniors, when we got back in January, they were so driven to get back to Mizzou's winning ways. Their leadership has been vital to this football team. And I think, we're searching for respect. And I think that's really what's been driving this thing, and I couldn't be happier for these guys. And we're 2-0 in November. We got one coming up next week against Ole Miss, and we're excited about being in this position.
And you got an extra week to heal up here with this bye week, specifically for quarterback James Franklin. Missed 3 games because of that shoulder injury he sustained in Athens. Got some time in the fourth quarter against Kentucky. Didn't attempt to pass. What's your plan with both Franklin and Matty Mock moving forward?
Well, we said from day one that, even though Matty has done a great job, that James Franklin's our starting quarterback, and he is. So he'll start. He's looking really good in practices right now. It's getting his timing back a little bit because he was playing at a very, very high level, as you know, when he got hurt. So, James will start without question. We'll play Matty a little bit, but James Franklin's our starter, and he's looking good. And within the practices, you see him just getting better and better and getting back to normal. And I expect him to be 100%.
Whether it's the quarterback position or any other position, how do you balance not wanting a guy to lose his starting job because of injury with not wanting to mess with maybe chemistry that has been built up in a team that's playing so well?
Well, I think we were playing well prior too. I mean, that's just really kind of that's just kind of how I always handle quarterbacks. I think our team knows that. Our starting quarterback's playing at a high level and he gets hurt, and regardless how well the backup plays, we're going to go back to the starter. And that's the same thing will be for Matty. If Matty is the starter next year, and the same thing happens to the backup, we just have ways we handle quarterbacks. And I think the teams believe in both of them. Our team believes in both of them without question. But James Franklin's our starter, and Matty Mock will be the first one to tell you that.
Let's go to the defensive side of the ball, Coach. Michael Sam, a guy not too many casual football fans knew about last year, leads the SEC in both quarterback sacks and tackles for loss. What should the country know about your star defensive end?
He's a great athlete. He can run well. He's changed the direction. This year, kind of just playing on a whole new mission personally, in terms of a guy that is I think driven to try to become a great player, and so his intensity level and how he plays play to play is second to none. And honestly, it's been we have a real good defensive line, exceptional defensive line, and so I think that the whole thing started with him at the beginning of the year, that he kind of set a bar for competing. And sacks and tackles for loss and all those things that defensive linemen get, and it's spread not only on our whole defensive front, but it's spread on our whole defensive football team.
Yeah, one of 15 semifinalists for the Walter Camp Player of the Year award. Quite an accomplishment there for Mr. Sam. All right, you're in the lead in the SEC East. But being a division leader, nothing new to you or Missouri. You won the Big 12 North in 07 and 08, made it to the conference title game those years. How do you think that experience you had in the Big 12, dealing with the pressure of playing for something of this magnitude down the stretch, will help you as a coach down the stretch this year?
Well, in the last 7 years, like you said, 07, 08, 010, we tied with Nebraska. They went to the championship game. That was a few years ago. So, you know, you want to be here. This is what you compete for. This is why you come to Missouri. You want to be in a position to compete for a championship. It's week by week. We all know that. We know we're playing a really good Ole Miss team. But this is our players. One thing about this football team, as well as any team I could say that I've been around coaching, is these guys, when they wake up Saturday as a team, as a player, all the way across this football team, they're ready to play. They play at a really high level, and they have a lot of fun playing. So we're going to still take that approach, and you know, we'll see where this thing goes. But it's great to be in this position.
Coach, quickly, I host a show, Recruiting Nation, here on ESPNU. I've wondered, with the success you've had this season, how has that impacted the way you and the program has been received on the recruiting trail in the homes of some top prospects?
Well, I think it's a plus without question. I think the SEC, without question, has been a plus for Missouri, and but you know, there's no question about it that you know, people around the country, obviously, when you're playing well and you're nationally ranked in the top 10, you know, you're gonna draw a lot more attention, and that's all good, and we want it.
Sure, no doubt about it. Bye week this week, at Ole Miss next week, then home against A&M. Coach, thanks.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Coming up, Stanford pulled off the upset last week against Oregon. Can USC do the same to Stanford? We'll look at it.